All right, let's talk about something that happens all the time in our careers. We think of a promotion as the ultimate prize, right? It's the reward for a job well done. But what if that reward actually sets you up to fail? Today, we're going to dig into this thing called the leadership trap and explore why that big promotion you worked so hard for might just be for the hardest, most unsupported job in the whole company.
So let me just ask you this straight up. What do you think is the toughest job in any company? Is it the CEO with all that pressure from the board? Or maybe it's the brand new hire, just trying to figure things out and prove themselves? Well, what if it's neither of them? What if the hardest job of all belongs to the person who's stuck right in the middle?
I mean, think about the career path we're all sold on. It's supposed to be this clear-cut ladder, right? Step one, you get a job. You learn a specific task. Let's say you're a coder. Step two, you get really good at it. You become an expert. Step three, you excel. You're the best coder on the team. And the reward for that? A promotion to manager. And then you hit this weird, invisible wall. You're suddenly in charge of the people doing the job you used to do, and that last rung on the ladder just has a big question mark on it. Now what?
And this gets us to something we can call the promotion paradox. It's this exact situation, getting promoted into a leadership role because you are amazing at a technical, non-leadership job. But here's the kicker. The skills that got you that promotion, they have almost nothing to do with the skills you actually need to succeed as a leader. So this leads us right into the first huge problem for new managers, what we're calling the middle squeeze. This is that feeling of being completely caught between the big, grand ideas coming from the top and the messy, day-to-day reality of your team on the ground. You can almost picture it, can't you? From way up top, senior leaders are sending down these big picture strategies, the grand vision, the what we want to achieve. And at the same time, from the bottom, your team is sending up the nitty-gritty details of tactical execution, all the problems, the roadblocks, the how it actually works. And where do those two opposing forces meet? Bam! They collide right on your desk. This is exactly why this quote is so perfect. It tells us that this middle ground isn't just a tough spot, it's the organizational fault line. It's the place where things crack. When a brilliant strategy from the execs turns into a total disaster on the front lines, it's almost always because something broke right there, in the middle.
So your most important job ends up being a translator. You have to take that corporate strategy and translate it into work that actually makes sense to your team. And you have to translate your team's on-the-ground problems back up to leadership. But if that translation fails, if the message gets garbled, well, that's when communication collapses, projects go off the rails, and morale just tanks.
And this brings us to the second, and honestly, maybe even bigger problem, the leadership vacuum. This really cuts to the heart of it. You were promoted because of the technical skills you already had, but you're being judged on a totally different set of human skills that odds are nobody ever bothered to teach you.
And what are these skills? Well, it's not about spreadsheets or code. It's things like really, truly listening to your people. It's knowing how to have a tough conversation without making it a fight. It's giving feedback that actually helps someone grow instead of crushing them. It's empathy. The absolute cornerstones of good leadership, and yet they're almost never part of the training for new managers.
This creates this constant internal tug of war. Your goal, your purpose, is to lead and support your team. But the reality is that the larger system, the machine, often only cares about one thing: hitting those quarterly numbers. So you're always torn between doing what's right for your people and just feeding the beast. And when you step back and think about it, the whole thing is just illogical. I mean, you would never ask an accountant to do the company's books without any training, right? Of course not. So why on earth do we consistently take our best performers, make them managers, and then just cross our fingers and hope they figure out this incredibly complex, human-centered job on their own? Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it sounds a little bleak. But this is where we pivot. This is the part about the solution. It's about forging your own diamond. And the core idea here is simple, but it is so powerful. You cannot control your boss. You can't control the big, messy organization, but you can always control yourself. So what does that actually look like? The real actionable solution is to stop obsessing over what's happening 2 levels above you and instead pour all your energy into your immediate circle of influence. That means the people on your team, your peers in other departments, the people you work with every single day. That's your world. Let me give you a quick case study of how this works in the real world. Imagine a massive company. We're talking 80,000 employees. In the middle of all that, there was one manager responsible for a team of 150 people. Instead of getting lost in all the bureaucracy, this manager decided to focus on just one thing:
building an amazing culture right there within their own team.
And the results? They were incredible. Of course, their performance numbers went up, which made the higher-ups happy. But here's the cool part. Word started to spread throughout this giant company that their little team was an amazing place to work. People from completely different departments started calling that manager, asking if there were any openings because they wanted in. And that is what we call a diamond in the rough. It's this beautiful idea that you can create your own little pocket of greatness, a high-performing, supportive, well-led team that doesn't just survive, but actually thrives, even if the larger organization around you is a total mess. You build your own amazing culture. So in the end, it all comes down to this one single idea. This is the big takeaway, the call to action. You might not be able to fix the whole system, but you can absolutely change the world for the people on your team. So the question to ask isn't, how do I fix my company? The real question is, how do I become the leader that I always wished I had?